is Monday. It could be afternoon, morning, Monday night. It could also be um we could also be early Tuesday. How are we doing? Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Um, you know, we're gonna talk about it. We are live and we're coming through and we already set everything up. So if you're coming through, we're gonna talk about it. We'll talk about Ant Edwards. Is Anthony Edwards about to do the thing? Cause he balling. He came up big. So we're gonna talk about Anthony Edwards. We're gonna talk about Ant Man. We about to enter the Anthony Edwards era. We about to ask the question, are we entering? Let me see. Let me do this thing real quick. We're gonna talk about it. We're gonna talk about it. Got sent out these fillers and everything, so I'm gonna be on for like an hour. Anyway, we got appreciate everybody coming through. Come on through if you want to talk. I am live today. It is Monday. Could be Monday, could be too. It depends where you are in the world, but thank you for watching and paying attention. Um, yeah, I keep it real simple on Anthony Edwards. What a great weekend for him against the Lakers. He really put on a show. That dunk again was what's happening. How you doing? That dunk was lethal. Um, it's really exciting. We're really in a real exciting time, and it's good to see. You know, can he be can he do it? He that injury could have been real freakish with LeBron and him, but he came up big. He came up big. That fourth quarter, he was big, and that was a foul. LeBron hit his leg, hit his arm and his leg, so it was a foul. Smart awareness on his part. Appreciate all the likes and everything. How you doing? How you doing? You know, glad everybody's coming through. Welcome aboard. We about to do this thing. Hello, how are you? I got your first hello. Tell me where you're coming from. Thank you for coming through. Um, got some people coming up in here. So we're gonna see what's up. That's right. When you coming in here, please hit the likes up. Feel free to take the poll. If you are familiar with Anthony Edwards, the basketball player for the Minnesota Timberwolves, please hit those keys up. They definitely are making a concerted effort. Yes, it's definitely the Minnesota Timberwolves are up 3-1 against the Lakers. They look like the better team and they're doing their thing. He ain't coming back though. And the bottom line is you're trying to say that as if he's by himself, as if Luka Doncic isn't the better player on that team. Luka is the X factor, but of that team right now. But the most important player on that team is Austin Reeves. They're not coming back from this. I can't see them winning no 4 games. How you doing? How you doing, Tom? Glad to have you. Can't see them winning no. They go 2 more games in Minnesota. I don't see it. I don't see it. And they've already lost 2. They took one in LA. Minnesota's going to finish them out one way or the other, either in LA or to finish them out in Minnesota. There, and if he has to go 7 in this series, he's going to be spent because I don't see him holding up. It's a very tough series. The problem is that JJ Ridiculous didn't rotate in the fourth quarter. Problem is they were spent and they were tired because they're not getting anything off their bench and they don't trust it. And they are vulnerable in the box. I'm gonna tell you like this: you better be so lucky Rudy Gobert is an offensive zero. Because if he had any ounce of ability in the box, if he had a half of Dwight Howard of offense, this would be done. It would have a problem, you know. So just saying, it's really that bad. So when I get trolls, they got to go. Okay, time for that. Nothing derogatory, offensive, got to go. But anyway, when I talk about Anthony Edwards, I think they can do it. Julius Randle's a nightmare. And this is where they miss Anthony Davis. They're gonna miss this is where they miss AD. Because AD could inside out. This is where they're missing him. LeBron doesn't have the parts because he's a problem with the parts. He was spent in the fourth quarter. They wore him down. Bodies giving out, wearing him down. So, you know. And the truth is, they deserve to lose anyway because Darvin Ham should have never been fired. They just got a team that nobody really wants. And they got bits and pieces. Now, Rui did go off yesterday, but this is the problem. It has to be Austin Reeves. Austin Reeves has to push 25 to 30 points for them to have a chance. If he doesn't score, they can't win. And the problem is that Minnesota finds their groove. They know they're the better team. This is not up for discussion. Remember, it was a fluke the last time LeBron came back from a 3-1 deficit. That's not his specialty. And I don't foresee it in this. Then they haven't been able to stop Minnesota. Minnesota put up 115 and been putting up numbers on them. So your defense is so right there. When you don't have no defense, you're already in trouble. So it's not the kind of series that I think they're gonna have. I know that this was not the kind of series for them. It was a tough series. It really is. It really is. And it's just exposing the obvious. But also there, like I said before, these old teams it's a new generation taking over. So that's what's up. It's why they're trying to make him a fifth member. I believe he's already. I think that Jaw's problem is that Jaw has the hype, but he's in the wrong location and he has the wrong attitude. And he has no understanding of balance. So that's one of the problems he runs into it. And his is trying to be the tough guy, which backfires. Tatum is actually perfect for Boston because the Celtics never were like a fancy place to style and profile because it is a certain way. But he doesn't have Jalen Brown's personality. So if you put those two worlds together, you would have had that dude, but you don't. SGA is just not from the States, and that's what works against him. And he works and he can play, but they don't like him. Yeah. He doesn't want it because he knows that it doesn't mean anything. It's another slave auction. That's all it means. And I get it. Nobody wants to be held to some standards that has nothing to do with how great a player you are. It's got more to do with how they can manipulate you, pimp you, hustle you. That's what that's about. It's got nothing to do that the cat can play. He's aware of that. He's man enough to know that. We are aware of what's up at work. Adam Silver needs that. But it just so happens at his young age and his talent level that he can do these things. And if he knocks LeBron out, that's another old man off his notch because he knocked off KD last year. So there'll be another one going down. And he is a problem. There's a problem in that perimeter. I hope he does great because you need some personality in the games too. You need somebody that gets a rise out of you. These cats are so conformist and they so soft, so we need something like that. A yin to the yang. 80% saying yes. You know, I mean, because everyone is so conditioned to go. But I say this is good. Now I'm gonna tell you honest. If you're a Laker fan, you want the day when LeBron retires. Then we're gonna really see what Luca can do, Austin Reeves, what they can do. This is not gonna work. JJ Redick is winging it this year. But I'm telling you, them 50 wins were fluky. They're getting exposed. He's getting exposed as a coach. He doesn't make substitutions. They blew a 10-point lead. And they getting whipped up on in the fourth quarter. So, you got to figure out a way to not get exposed and pump them brakes. That's what's up. So that's all that's going on. But anyway, yeah, we're aware. We very aware what they're trying to do. All right, people are hitting them likes up. Please keep on hitting this poll question up. We're gonna see what we got. I'm looking forward to people coming through. It's a great day. Hope you're having a great day wherever you are in the world. The last few days of April, and it's been a nice. The birds are singing, so let's get into it. Let's get everything a ringing. You know, appreciate everybody coming through. Yeah, I remember. They finished up really nicely. Um, it's got to be demoralizing for the Lakers. It has to be. This was the worst possible matchup they could have gotten for the first round. You know, this ain't your typical 3 through 6 seed matchup. No way. And I tell people, look, the difference is in this series to me was actually the trade. I think if AD's there, I think the Lakers might pull this out in 6. But without AD, you have no rim protector. You lose. You can't get rid of a guy that's a double double, especially with the way AD defends, the way that he plays. You just can't do that. So you're running the risk of being exposed, and that's what they didn't ran into. There's nothing great about playing a 40-year-old guy because you're gonna burn him out. And the problem that they run into is they don't defend well. They don't have a bench. They don't have a rim protector. And sooner or later, it's like we got to get physical. And that's what they're doing. Pound on him, force him. And that's why LeBron can't go into the box because he's trying to shoot threes and fade. His body can't keep up with what's going on. They can't think process because they don't have a low post presence at all. Him, Reeves, or Luca are not post players. So they're behind better hit them threes because if they go cold out there and they don't want to hit the box, they in trouble. And the Minnesota is a problem because Julius Randle is a problem. Like I said before, you better be glad that Rudy Gobert ain't a 12-point a night man. This series would be a blowout. That's what's the only reason why it's close. But they can't keep with Minnesota small ball. They can't mess with them on the perimeter. So the Timberwolves are doing everything right. They're getting it and they're getting at them. They're catching them being. It would be better if the Lakers just go ahead and fold up like a chair because it's not going to happen this year. You don't usually lose 3 games the first round and then suddenly you turn it on and go through a great run because you're not that team to begin with. Darvin Ham did not do anything wrong. Darvin Ham got ran out of LA, and LJJ Redick he's starting to see what the problem is. And the problem is starts with number 23. LeBron has to be the third best He can be an occasional second option. He can't be the top option. And if he takes over, that's the that recipe for disaster because then the others could fold and they go and more than likely they will fold. Oh, I expect the next game they're gonna get crazy fouls in LA. I expect they'll get some calls. But if Minnesota finishes them up, oh well. That was bad. I will address that. The teams are pretty evenly matched. The problem is, aside from Cade Cunningham, he has nothing to work with. That's no excuse, though, but still. But as bad as Detroit fumbles and messes up, they're in these games with New York, with Brunson and with Cat. But the thing about it is not much that separates the two. So it is basically we want New York and Boston. But I don't I'll say it like this. Detroit doesn't deserve to go to the next round. I watched them these last few games. They blew the first game. You can't go in the fourth quarter and go cold like that. They didn't show like a team that wanted to win these last two games. Despite having a chance to win, they have not played that well at home. So I like Cade Cunningham a lot. Tobias Harris actually showed a little bit of a pulse. They don't have anything. You can't trust Tim Hardaway Jr. You can't trust Schroeder. They don't have anything to match. And that's a shame because I thought they could have been like the Pacers of this year. I do believe that them and the Knicks, it might be 3-1, but it seems like 3-1 in name only. Because to be honest with you, this series could easily be 3-1 Detroit, if not 4-0, you know. So it's got more to do with what they didn't do. That's how I look at that. But yeah, they want to see the Knicks and the Celtics, but the Celtics are going to tear their behind up if they got anything left when they get through in this series. Because if Jalen Brunson gets hurt or anything happens, they don't have. They're not going to do nothing. Cat's too inconsistent. So, and you talk about rotation and guys getting slow and methodical. There you go. The Knicks are the kings of that. But that's how Tibbs works his offense. So yeah, that's how I feel about it. Looking at it like that. Because you just pretty much just yeah. Mhm. Mhm. Why don't they play the other rookie with boy? Because Pritchard does what he's supposed to do. He scores, he can post. He's kinda like an Alex Caruso for the Celtics if you get down to it. He's real scrappy, he's a good fit. Um, the Celtics know how to utilize their bench. That's why they're picked to win the chip. Al Horford out here looking like he's 78, out here playing like he's 28. I mean, he got up on that block. They got more ways to kinda minimize you. You know, Charles Barkley said something which was true. They only beat you if they let themselves down. They're not beating you because you gotta play out your mind with you because there's how where they are right now. And they're not a great all-time great team, but they're the kind of team that can beat you. Those days of choking against Miami and Jimmy Butler's heroics and all that are pretty much behind them. I think when Steph Curry caught them sleeping, you got to be a special kind of player to expose them. But they're not going to just lose to just anybody. They are the real deal. So, but the Celtics have a good rotation. I mean, they do what they're supposed to do. They don't make a lot of mistakes. Joe Mazzulla, like I said, he's a very good coach. gets the job done. They don't make mistakes. They don't do dumb stuff, and so when you're expecting that, that's why they're winning. So I gotta keep it 100 about Joey. He bring it, you know. But I talk about him enough. I talk about him quite a bit. I think he's really that legit as a coach. And I just think that they are, you know, that's why they're perennial favorites to win the chip. Because that bench is real. And they got versatility. They wear you out. They will wear you out. All right. Keep on hitting the likes up, hit the poll questions up. Come on in. If you're in here watching, come on through. Don't be shy. Come on through. As long as you don't troll, you're welcome to come and stay. That's all I say. Just don't troll. We can talk. And I hope everybody's having a good day out there in the world. Appreciate the likes and hitting the polls. So thank you so much. So we go. Oh, you talking about the rookie? Oh, you talking about I know you talking about. I don't think he feel they ready. I think he feel they gonna get their lunch money took. They're not really showing any zeal. They don't have. The problem is Austin Reeves was throwing up a donut until he got started to wake up in the second quarter. They cannot afford to get behind a team like Minnesota's putting that pressure on them. That's what's up. They're picking their pockets. That's what's up. Let me tell you like this in a nutshell. For you Laker fans, you don't have a point guard. You don't have anyone who can facilitate to get it. Yeah, Luca doubt. And another thing, he dribbles like I say, he does like James Harden. He hogs that ball and then shoots them long shots and all that smirking and all them, gimmicks. They make it more tiring with what they have to do. So they have to compartmentalize. Him and LeBron have to play like multiple roles and hope Austin Reeves and Rui come down. They're not what we call a well equipped team in a traditional sense, and that's what they're getting exposed as. So if I'm Minnesota, I keep on with the strips, I keep on with the pokes, I keep with the jabs because they don't have a basic simple point guard that can navigate to what's going on, and that's a problem. So that's why they're not doing it. And besides, I know you're talking about he got his feelings hurt because they tried to trade him to Charlotte. And he ain't really been the same since. And then you stuck with Bronny James. Do I need to say anything else? Gabe Vincent has had a couple okay games in a Laker uniform, but he left Miami and he basically been on vacation in LA. He don't really fit. They don't have a team that I would sit there and tell you like, oh, because if they get waxed up at the front, they're done. And JJ's finding out the hard way. They should have a 10, 12 man rotation, but they don't. So they have to work with what they got, and they already a defensive liability. So you got old man out there running, you got Luke out there running. Reed, they getting ate up already. So it's gonna be good luck with that. So mm. So anyway, that's all I got to say, Coach Wilson. Thank you, Tom, for that endorsement. Appreciate that. That's what I try to do on here. We're not limited to stuff. I just bring some out, but we're not limited. You know, we talk about a wide range of events, situations. Um, you know, it's a wide range. That's why I like to make this live stream the people's channel. When people come on here, we're gonna call it the people's channel voice because I like to represent. You got questions, got answers. If I don't know something, I ask somebody, but we will make this thing as open for everybody. We just say just come in here with respect, don't offend nobody, be cool, be calm, collective, and we're good. Mm. So anyway, just taking a moment. I definitely appreciate you, OG. I got to get back to work. Thank you for coming through, Tom. I really appreciate you coming through. You really make the day special. Great soul. Best to you and your fam. And always appreciate you. Thank you as always. And I hope that when time permits, you come back again. It's always an honor and great to have you through. Thank you so much. I always enjoy people that come back because it's great and we feel appreciated and it's an honor. But yeah, what I was saying, and the poll is 67%. They might have some reluctance about Ant. I'll tell you one thing: if Ant played for the Boston Celtics, they'd be ready to blow him up tomorrow and play with the Knicks. Personality means everything. Don't be surprised the Lakers try to pursue him. I already told you that if Minnesota doesn't go deep, don't be surprised if they want a lethal weapon with Luca and Anthony Edwards. I'm trying to tell you, it's gonna be crazy. And this was another day in time you could probably pull it off, but today you can't because everybody's got a different playing field. So you can endorse yourself. It's your personality. We shall see. Excuse me. We shall see. Appreciate you, man. Thank you for coming through. Really appreciate you as always. Okay, so we're gonna see who else comes through. I'll be on here for about, I'll give it a little time because today is Monday, and I understand people had that long weekend or had that fun. So we'll see what you're doing. I'll give you a benefit of doubt. Just doing this cough drop. That's all. Tastes real good. That Ricola. Okay. Mm. Mm-hmm. That's good. Okay. We're gonna see what we got. Appreciate the shout outs. Always glad to see people coming through. Hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Hmm. Okay. See what we got so far. Just gonna peep everything out. Don't forget, past episodes and live streams are armed. available on the podcast. So get a chance, check it out. Every time I do at least 10 of these, I put them on there and you can feel free to watch, comment, let me know what you think. Okay. What you say? Okay. Got another one come through, 57%. It's coming down a bit. Okay. Ant might be divisive. Probably Laker fans, though. Right back. Hmm. Come on through. You got anything you want to say? Come on through. We're gonna try to get close to an hour. Gonna see to the people come through. Some days it just be like that. Well, I'm gonna tell you something. If they beat the Lakers, which I think they're gonna do, that'll be showtime. And that'll be a real nice battle. And deep down, we want to see Minnesota and OKC in the Western Conference Finals. Deep down, we do. I know I do. Kind of. Because Ant's bringing the hype. Hmm. Yeah. I like how someone, I agree, Steph is still a standard. Hmm. But I'm also not sold on Golden State, though. Because even if Jimmy Butler's healthy, they still need another scoring option. And their bench is hit and miss. But let's see. Mm. All right, we're going to give it another minute. Lakers shot themselves on that game. Well, it was the fourth quarter. Fourth quarter. LeBron was gone, yo. Shoot, you can't play all them kind of minutes. You don't get no breath. And Minnesota put pressure on you. They can hit them perimeter shots. They defend you. Lakers don't have a point guard, and they don't have a rim protector, and they don't have a bench. you're not winning the championship. You can't go without all three. They don't have all three, and that's what's messing them up. And Ant is smarter because he put his runs together nicely. LeBron tried to overwhelm early, and he was spent. He doesn't have three more games like that in him this year. So they couldn't play no defense, can't get no stops, and they can't score. And he shot 18 free throws, so I don't want to hear him complaining. He camped out the free throw line, you know. So ain't nobody trying to hear that. The Lakers did the best they could. They're just going against a team that's better than them. That's all. I think that's the hardest thing for some people to take, and it's a bad matchup. I'm trying to tell you, bad matchups. There's teams you don't want to have to play, and this is one of the worst things that could happen to the Lakers first round because Minnesota can get physical with them, and they should win the series. And if you're LeBron James, you should probably consider playing one more year, and then you might should consider retiring because you're not going to get the kind of pieces that you need to be a championship team. Because basically they need you to go back to the future, like you 28, 29. That ain't gonna happen. Luca got to put down the cheeseburgers, and they got to get some inside presence. They got to get some bench. They got to do a major overhaul. Now, can JJ really get it done? I don't know. He looked like he's been exposed as a rookie head coach. He ain't playing no defense. The three losses that they've sustained to Minnesota has put up, they put up 115, 116. They've put up about an average of 116 points in the three wins. So, you know, they've been dominating them. They're wearing them out. So, but like I said before, they're doing the best they can. They're not a championship team. And once you understand that you're not in no, you know, another Lululemon. Mm, mhm. Okay. Please hit that like, hit this poll questions up. Come on through if you want to. If anybody comes through, I got here for another 20 plus minutes. Mm, mm. Let me see what this thing said. LeBron did. No, he didn't do his thing because he didn't get demanded Reeves get involved. He didn't do his thing. What else could you expect from Luca? Luca scored 38 points. How he didn't come up? Reeves, you can throw the finger at. Reeves is feeling the pressure. And he's feeling the pressure because he doesn't have AD as a blanket to hide behind. Your three perimeter players are all going out like the Three Stooges. No. LeBron, aside from that block in the fourth quarter, what else did he do? He threw an Easter egg, and that was last Sunday. He threw an egg yesterday. He can't finish because he's not a young man no more for that. And don't put it off like he gets exempt. He's got to take the L. This is his coach. He wanted that trade, and that's what he's got. So he's got to take the L for that. The problem with them is that they don't have anything off the bench, and everything has to go as a certain way. And that certain way means, you know, we got to figure out a way methodically to slow the ball down, get stuck on. He burnt himself out. He wore himself out. 22 points at halftime, 5 the rest of the way. So what are we supposed to do with that? Stat line is decent, but it's not dominant. So, you know, can't just pass it off on others when he's held accountable. Can't do that. You know, I don't know. Mhm. I was cracking me up how Laker fan like he deserved. Yes, he do. Yes, he do. He could have played better. And he's played with Reeves for a few years, and he didn't play, and he got Lucas, so they got figured out. It's called postseason basketball. Everybody feel pressure. Got to tighten it up. I don't. I see 6 at the most. I don't, because it's not a good matchup for them. You just want it because you're pulling for LeBron. Them, you know good and well this ain't a good look for them. They look so defeated, and they don't deserve to win this series. They've given up an average 150 plus 115 points in this series. They're getting out hustled, out man, outworked. See, if you're an unbiased basketball fan, you call it for what you see. You don't call it for what you dream it to be. This is not a good series. Denver, the Clippers, I see 7. I'd want that to go 7. Houston, Golden State, I want it to go 6. And the other series is irrelevant. The Knicks, Detroit, I would love for that to go 7. That one, yeah. That's it. If I didn't say New York, Detroit, if I didn't say Clippers, Denver, and I didn't say yeah, was that's not a 7-game series though. This ain't a 7-game series. David Adam Silver might want to go 7, but the eyeball test says no. You got to finish the game. They can't do it. Have you seen the stats for the fourth quarter between the two teams? They're outscoring the Lakers, I think 110 to 69. Look it up. You got to finish the game. But let me educate those who don't remember. Was it what, 2 years ago against Denver? What's happening? How you doing? What's up from Arizona? I know what I said. What's up? How you living? When they lost to Denver, all 4 games, LeBron blew 3 of those games. Remember? 4th quarter. 3rd quarter against Denver. Okay, if you can't finish, you can't win. And if you can't win, you're not gonna win. That's why we don't really have a discussion about this because they don't have the parts to win. And you can't lose games late like that. A shoulda, woulda, coulda ain't gonna get it done. You're not a championship team. They got a lot of guys that teams are cool with, but can they win? No. That's about it. And the problem with that is why Dallas got rid of his behind. He had a cheeseburgers and he was sick the other night. That's insubordination. You cannot go to game 3 on the road and talk about tummy ache and you can't play like that. He has poor habits and he needs someone to get in his behind. And I don't know if LeBron's gonna do that or not. It's not gonna be a good watch. Just gonna see how it plays out. So you got rid of one guy who stays in street clothes and the other guy who eats himself halfway with the lead. That's not a recipe for success. They don't have a supporting cast. That's why they're not good enough in this series. They don't have a supporting cast. That's what I keep trying to tell you. That's why JJ Redick is throwing his hands up like I can't go more than 6, 7 deep. These bums can't cut it. They don't score nothing. They score just what you and I score. We're watching the game. He tried Bronny in game 1, and that didn't amount to nothing. So, see, I'm gonna tell you like this. I don't want them to win, but I'm not like blown away with I'm not blown away with Minnesota per se because I think Rudy Gobert is a liability for the most part, and I think that they are too kind of streaky because they could be better than what they are. And lucky for the Lakers that they're not better than what they are because this could be a real ugly series. But I'm telling you, this was a bad matchup for the Lakers. Bad, 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 bad. Because Ant knows how to finish, and you're going to have problems when you got going against this team. Plus, if they start hitting those outside shots. And if Gobert even has dare him go 10 plus points, because Jarvis Hayes ain't doing nothing. And the problem that JJ Redick is going to run into, he's got to slow the game down. Because if he can't mix tempo, they in trouble. And they don't have a point guard. So they will miss AD. So yeah. Okay. We got 15 more minutes. I think I'll be on for 15 more. I think I'll do an even hour. Unless, of course, I get a late flurry of people that come through and people want to comment and stuff, I'll do because my plan is to be here for an hour. But yeah, what you're saying is true. I mean, you gotta have the supporting cast. You got to. You got to. That's why I said that's why OKC looks as good as they do. Boston looks as good as they do. Cleveland's looking as good as they do. Those are contenders. Everybody else is unknown. So we'll see. He fouled Ant. There was nothing controversial about it. He hit and LeBron put his hand down to hit the ball. He hit his wrist and he hit his leg. So it was a double foul. There's nothing controversial about that. He fouled him. He had to hit his arm to get the ball. You have to call fouls. Now, I will say this. If you're a Detroit Pistons fan, you don't have Ant Edwards, so you don't get that call. I'll say that. If that's what you're looking for me to say, there you go. Detroit doesn't have an Anthony Edwards, so they don't get no call. But that was the correct call. They had it enough to challenge it, and he swiped them down, and that's what happened. And let's keep it 100. There are going to be things going against LeBron at this stage because he's not a championship caliber player. So, of course, you're going to not get certain things now. You're not in your heyday. You're living off your lore. And you're one game away from being knocked out the first round, which has happened quite a few times. Because aside from the pandemic chip, you don't have anything else memorable being a Laker. There's nothing else memorable. Yeah, you got a couple rounds last year, a couple years ago with Darvin Ham, and that's it. You got swept in the Western Conference Finals, but haven't been that legit of a team. So there's no controversy as far as I'm concerned. That was a legit foul. And Ant was very aware of it too. If Ant wasn't able to switch his hands, which he did, can't even make no stink about that. 'Cause that was a foul. So I know they were holding collective breaths when LeBron rolled his leg. They thought, "Oh no, if we lose him, we're in trouble." So he didn't flop on that last one though. That was a legit foul. There was no flop on that. LeBron hit his arm to hit the ball down. And he had to slap his hand to get that ball loose, and then his hand still came down his leg. So it was a double foul the way he was doing it. What's up? How you doing? How you living? And I'm not gonna say that ain't part of the acting school, but hey, what's your joke? As long as it's clean, I don't want nothing that's offensive. What you gonna say? A thong wearer? Because in America, that's what they used to call flip flops. Thong wearer, or what do you call it? That's what they used to call them back in the day. Yeah. Okay. Felipe follow. Okay. Almost like falafel. Okay, that's cool. I guess that's a lot different than I thought it was gonna go. That was a lot different than I thought it was gonna go. Yeah. When I get to France, I gotta see a Frenchman wearing them. That'd be cool. I remember that. So all right. Let's make these next 10 minutes go good. So we got more people taking the poll. 56% says yes, he will be about to be the face. It's close. I thought I'd ask a fresh question because he played, you know, I do believe he's coming. If they beat the Lakers, which I think they will, I don't know how many games, but I think it's going to be one of the next two. Then if he goes and can beat, if Golden State beats Houston, then that sets up. Or if Houston beats Golden State, that sets up the next generation. That's what I'm hoping for. Because I'm here to tell you the cast that are on the NBA ain't happening no more. Kevin Durant need to hang it up. Put him, it ain't gonna happen. You know, um, uh, Kawhi Leonard, he got to keep it up. Don't him get hurt. James Harden. So it's a lot at stake. We're gonna see. So that's what's up. That wasn't a flop though. See, you're just mad because the call was LeBron fouling. Why don't you just take that L and just say, "Hey, we lost to a better team, and we're not really worthy of being this kind of team." Because that's the facts. To get rid of Darvin Ham and trade Anthony Davis for Luca and still pretty much be in the same predicament you were in a couple years ago is not a W. And LeBron is still he's older. So, you know, with Laker fan people being in denial, the LeBron fans will say whatever. I know one thing, if you could get him out of Minnesota, you take that flip and the flop. I know that. Now that I know. Because you know good and well that if you could get your hands on Anthony Edwards, you would. So again, I just want to see the best team win, and I think they're the best team right now to win in that series. Still think OKC is the best team in the West until proven otherwise. So the only way that happens is if Ant gets hurt. Adam Silver makes the Lakers get 25, 30 free throws the next two games. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. I love denial, and you want a made for TV and you want a Hollywood ending in a movie, but it's not going to happen. They're not good enough to beat this team. They're losing the same way they lost to Denver the last 2 years. They can't finish games. They don't have a finisher. I don't know how to say it in English anymore better than that. I guess if I get upset enough from a standpoint that I got to deal with the Laker trolls and people trolling, they don't have a finisher. They don't finish games. They lost all them 15, 25 games to Denver straight because they couldn't finish. And they're repeating it deja vu right now as we speak. I don't know what so hard to sink in. I know it's hard because it's your team and you got this romanticism with them. They don't have a finisher. And if you don't have a finisher, you do all the things that they're hoping to do. So come back next year when you got a whole year together. Make LeBron's last year count. That's all I can say. Because I got a feeling I doubt they want to extend him beyond another year after this year. He shouldn't want to because him and Luca ain't gonna be like you think it's gonna be unless they land themselves a legit third option. But they got a lot of work to do because they got a lot of work to do. This was a nice, quick to see what we got, but it's not gonna end well because again, he's old. So and he ain't gonna he'll have some games where he can go off and do some stuff, but he can't turn back the kind of clock he need to turn back. The truth is, aside from like I said, the bubble year and what they did a couple years ago, he's had two decent postseason runs, but they haven't been that memorable in LA. So, so we good. Okay, so we got a few more minutes. Hope to get some more words and conversation in. But I know what happens when you're dealing with Laker fans. They don't believe in reality. This is hilarious. The only series I hope that goes seven would be this two. I want New York and Detroit, and I want Denver and the Clippers. And the other ones can end as soon as possible. That's my honest truth. So feel free to hit the poll question up and feel free to hit that like button. And if you got anything to say, come on through. Let's see. Okay. All right. If Jalen Green comes and stinks it up like he did the other night, this mess could be over. I'd say about six. It should go six from now. Lawyers in five. Should go six. Houston got to win one more game, but if they lose tonight, it's a wrap. And Jalen Green got to play out of his mind. So I don't know who lawyers are. So I don't know. But I'm gonna tell you something. They really don't even need him for this series. If Gary Payton II plays like that, and they're able to uh, make you, if Jalen Green doesn't come out balling, they don't need him. It doesn't hurt, but they don't need him. Steph can take care of this. Steph can win two games by himself against this kind of team. Why? Because Houston's a jump shooting team who's trying to play tough and get physical. But if Steph was to get his Jokic all around game on, he could have a triple double. It would demoralize them. And that's the thing. If he can get about 5 to 7 or 8 assists and gets 5 to 7 or 8 rebounds and push up 25 to 35 points, they don't have a chance. They don't have a chance. So, and the reason why I gave the Rockets hope is because I know Udoka's defense is legit, but their offense is putrid. Jalen Green ain't on. Van Fleet is good, and I like Sagat, the one in the box, but they don't have enough offensive firepower. They need some. They need some. They need a legit every night, and that's the problem that's run into them. That's what Udoka. That's what's holding up Udoka. Really, they need the guys to score, and they don't. So, damn. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Okay. I got a few more minutes. Think I'll do about an even more nine. I bring Jimmy Butler back slowly and comfortably. But I think they can beat them. But I'm looking at what I'm seeing because Houston ain't showing me nothing on the offense. So does anybody ever fit right away with the Browns? I mean, yeah, I'm glad he got a job, but this was cruel and unusual punishment. If he does fit, he'll be gone in 2 or 3 years. He'll go somewhere else to try to win. We know it's a short term thing. We know it's a short term thing. We not dumb. The NFL, Cleveland is basically like the Tubi of the NFL. You watch Tubi, everybody get a chance to make a movie on Tubi. Everybody get a chance to star. Well, that's like being with Cleveland. You know, it's not about no winning. It's just that they part of the NFL. That's all. So I like to see him do well, but you got Deshaun Watson, Joe Flacco. Good luck with that. Miles Copeland, who I think is a great defensive player, but nobody in their right mind wants to stay in Cleveland. I don't understand it. Money must be pretty good there. They must treat you like a king because there's no reason to say to stay to a team that ain't going to win. Everybody knows how Cleveland season going to end before it starts. Fit into the do's and don'ts, but it's going to be, it's going to be a real mountain to climb. But they should give him a chance. I mean, they gave Johnny Manziel a chance. They gave Baker Mayfield a chance. And like I said before, hey, why not? Yep. But they brought him back. And he ain't played a good game since he was 30. Well, I will say this about Flacco, who I call Fluco, because he he's a dangerous quarterback if we start the season off in September to early October. Then he kind of dips for about a month. You're frustrated with him. But if you get him back in January, that's when he comes back again. But he's looking busted lately. That's why they got him for dirt cheap. Yeah. Yeah, you know, he had some big ones though, but that's been years ago. So I got nothing to do with it. But I know if you go to Cleveland, that's you usually go there to just retire, even before you're not retiring. We'll see though. Okay, give it 4 more minutes before I'm gonna call it. Please hit the poll questions and hit the like if you're on. And I will be back tomorrow. I will be back tomorrow. If they get a good quarterback, because I don't know whatever they got at quarterback. I mean, Jacksonville, Trevor Lawrence fell off, and they got a new coach, and they just, I don't know. Can't answer that question. Is it good or not? I don't know. I can't answer that question because he's got his work cut off for him. So I don't know. Doug Peterson got fired, and Trevor Lawrence is on the way out. And they don't really have much to go on there. So he'll do good. Is he gonna stay there forever and ever? I don't think so. But if he turns out to be, because they got a whack quarterback, he'll have to play multiple positions to keep his energy. I don't know. All right. So he seems to be in a pretty good spirits. I just don't know if they're gonna let him double up with what he's doing. Stay tuned. I'm glad he got drafted high though. But mm, okay. You from who is this? Who am I talking to? If they're gonna do it, they better do it tonight. If they don't do it tonight, gotta go six. But I think Golden State will finish them up though. But if I'm Golden State, I do want to finish Houston up quick though. I do. I don't want this series going more than six because that's a recipe for disaster. So they should be able to finish them up. And I want to see Minnesota and Golden State in the next round. That actually would be a sweet series. That'd be tight. But we'll see. 50-50. Oh wow. 50% say yeah. So I think there's people that think that Victor Wemby in a couple of years, and there's people who look at Jokic and they look at Giannis. We'll see. But if Anthony Edwards can turn it on and lead his team, we shall see. We shall see. Okay, I got 2 more minutes. 2 more minutes before my call of the day. He might want those two, but one of them ain't gonna show up. Not legally, they're not. Not legally. Because the Lakers ain't what I watched this weekend, they don't deserve to beat Minnesota. They don't deserve to beat them. And that's let me just put bias and any personal feelings aside. They don't deserve to beat them. I have not seen the evidence they deserve to beat them. I see the same problems I've seen the last 2 years with the Lakers. The wrong matchup, and they can't finish, and they don't have a closer. And Darvin Ham actually had them playing better defense too, by the way. Their offense is good, but their defense is putrid. They're getting bullied and pushed around. And, you know, LeBron look old. And the thing is he I know like what? I worked with you about 7, 8 years ago. He'd have flipped the script. Can't do it at 40. It's just not the same. Yeah, he can still ball and have moments and stuff, but what they need can't keep up with them young legs. That this is a tough situation. Golden State better not lose tonight. If this series goes So it goes back to Houston. It's 2-2. Houston got a chance. So Udoka is a good enough coach to strategize. So they got to finish them off as soon as they can. They do not want to go more than 6 games with the Rockets. Mm-mm. Just like the Lakers, you don't want to have to be playing every team more than 6 because that's wear and tear on you, and you already been spent. So not a good look. But if you go in the state, you better finish them up. You better not play around with the Rockets because if they win another game, you're destined on the door for 6 or 7. And then if they can get if Jalen, see, you better be lucky Jalen Green is inconsistent because if he wasn't so inconsistent, oh, this could be a whole different series. Jimmy Butler, no Jimmy Butler. It's just that Jalen Green is inconsistent as all get out. That's the problem. But for the Rockets, their window is just starting to open. They still got a couple years. And they will attract somebody who will be a pure cherry picker scorer. They're gonna be more problematic, and Udoka's got them in the right direction. So, because I'm telling you, the changing of the guard is right in front of your eyes. Steph's entering the last phase of his career. LeBron is too. James Harden and Kawhi. Kevin Durant. So when that's gone, I'm telling you what I see. Most of these cats will probably be done in about a year or two. Anyway, I don't give LeBron more than another year after this year. So, because I don't think you're going to keep trying to re-sign a guy, 41, 42. It's all you getting is stats. You have to have like a super team to make, and it's not. No one's going to play for that. But if they get knocked out in the first round, the year's a flop, and it's not going to be a good look. So, all right, appreciate all the comments today. We got some polling. I've got some folks in, so I will be back tomorrow, and appreciate it when it came through. Stay safe, stay blessed, stay woke, stay free, and I appreciate you. Thank you. Have a great evening, day, or new day, wherever you're coming from. Peace of the best. All right, I'll catch you. I'm out.